very much and welcome back again to another session of our mentorship session. Don't forget, we have been talking about what employers are looking for in 2024. What employers are looking for in 2024. In our previous videos, we have talked about self-awareness, effective communication, personal skills, adaptability, problem solving, critical thinking, time management, emotional intelligence, leadership skills, continuous learning, networking, and professionalism. Now, that is very, very critical. And today, let us talk about two more. Cultural competence. Now, cultural competence has to, you already know that culture is the total way of life of a people, how a people behave in a given setting, in the community, in the village, wherever they find themselves. Within the workspace too, within the corporate system, you also have what we call the corporate culture. Right? The corporate culture is the way the company behaves, the way the people within the company behaves, the way they relate with each other, their mission statement, their vision statement, all of these things, everything that has to do with the totality of their services, everything they do forms their corporate culture. How they relate with their clients forms what we call their corporate culture. Now, when we talk about corporate, or when we talk about cultural competence, we're talking about your ability to understand and work within the corporate culture. If you are working within the banking system, for example, the banking system has its corporate culture. If you are working within the manufacturing companies, they have their corporate culture. If you are working within food processing, they have their corporate culture. If you're thinking about services, and if you are thinking about services, they also have their own corporate culture. Now, these are very, very important and very, very critical to them. But in general, we have what we call the global culture, we have what we call the local culture, and then we have what we call industry-specific culture. These are three levels of what corporate culture. There are corporate culture that are global, which means it's practicable anywhere. If global culture has to do with the cultural system that guides the operations of international and multinational companies. You talk about companies that are operating in different countries. They have their cultures spread across and all that. And then you think about like maybe NGOs also that are also working international NGOs. They also have their global culture. Now that is very, very important. And anybody who's going to employ you into any organization within this way wants to know that what we are aware of this culture and that we can practice it. Next is local culture. Local culture has to do with, like we talk about multinational companies and international companies are also operating within the locals. So they're also affected by the local culture. But if you also have a company that is just within the locals, it's just in Nigeria, or just operating within the states, you also have their local culture. The global culture may not necessarily affect them, or there may even be relationship between these two cultures, or even the three cultures. When we talk about industry-specific cultures, industry-specific cultures are cultures that are limited to certain industry. Talk about, the banking industry, for example, the logistics, and all of these people, they also have their culture. So at the point of recruitment, at the point of interview, recruiters want to know if you have the knowledge about how these cultures operate. Next is receiving and giving feedback. Very, very important. Receiving and giving feedback. Now, what is a feedback? A feedback is an assertion that tells the person, a community, or the management that you have received the information that have been disseminated to you, or that the work that is assigned to you, you understand it, or that the work that is assigned to you, you have done it. Now, feedback is very, very important within the workspace. A lot of people don't know how important feedback is. If you are given an assignment, you are employed, you have a supervisor, whether on your regular duty or on special projects. You have your supervisor, somebody who is overseeing you while you oversee the project or while you are doing whatever you are doing, somebody that you report to. Now, that is very, very critical. That person that you report to needs feedback, right? That person needs feedback from time to time. He doesn't have to request for it. You will be the one to tell the person, okay, today I have done this and this and this. Tomorrow, this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow on this project, right? If you are giving a task, as soon as you are done with the task, you don't keep it with you. And then you are waiting for your boss to come and ask you, how far are you done? No, as soon as you are done with the project, you reach out to your boss and inform him that what you are done with it. Now, that is very, very important communication. The next is what? Receiving feedback. As you are submitting your assignment, you are carrying out your project, you have your supervisor, you will need to ask your supervisor where you have erred or not. Very, very critical. Not just that, you are working with people, you are working within a space, and as a result, you want to ask your colleagues how you are performing. Are you doing well? Maybe you are new on the job, it's just your first 3 months. You want to ask your colleagues how you are doing. Are you coping well? Are you doing this well? This is the core criticism. A lot of people don't like it, but within the workspace and within the corporate system, you are going to find it very, very helpful. Because there are things that people are saying about you, or people are saying about how you are going about your work, that they will never tell you until you ask them. Even when you ask them, sometimes you need to press their neck for them to give it to you. So this is very, very important. So you have to develop your skills to give feedback and also to receive feedback. What they call it within the corporate culture is uh, constructive criticism. So you have to be open to constructive criticism and even go after it, ask for it, ask people for how you are doing, how well you have done, and then you can use that to improve yourself. We'll pause here for today. We are going to conclude this episode by next week, but don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Also follow us on Facebook at Jumo Resource Center. Thank you very, very much.
Bye.